Welcome to the first episode of the Viking Horn podcast, brought to you by myself, Kennedy, and Nick. So for today's episode, we brought together Johnny and Brennan from the Fremd football team. So guys, welcome. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming. So to start us off, we kind of wanted to talk about, this past season being underdogs and, you guys having such great success and coming off kind of a poor season the year before. So kind of talk about that, bad season going into kind of the season you had this year.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a lot of hard work put in this off season, especially led by the coaches. But I think a big factor of our success this year was more of the players taking a stand and kind of developing that leadership role. A lot of seniors who have been in this school for 4 years, they saw the ups and downs, and this year was definitely an up. But I think just seeing their hard work and their willingness to sacrifice anything to win really pushed all the younger levels. So
yeah, we had a lot of off-season chaos kind of with coaching and just players and all that. And one thing that the players, especially I think the seniors, did is we all convinced ourselves that we were going to be good no matter what. So we kind of had that delusional confidence, and then it just ended up we manifested it basically.
To start off with your football journeys, can you guys tell us a little bit about that and how you guys have been playing together?
Yeah,
for a long time?
We've been friends since we were first grade, and we started playing football together in third grade, and played pretty much the entire time growing up. But then obviously we weren't the same grade going into high school, so then we started playing again his sophomore year, my junior year, and then since then it's just been a lot of success and a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's funny, we were both when we played together at Hoffman, we were both tight ends.
Yeah.
So we're not in that same position anymore, but it was pretty funny how we kind of saw each other grow and all the process and all the levels of football. So it's gonna be cool playing with each other some more in college.
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty fun.
So we saw lots of plays this season with you guys linking up and, making the passes to Brennan for touchdowns, whatever it may be. So what was it like to, build that chemistry throughout the season and the season before that?
Yeah, I think it was great. Me and Brennan, we didn't play together for 2 or 3 years because he was a freshman on varsity. But I'd say, just going and throwing to each other in the winter and just kind of building that chemistry countless amount of hours in the summer and the winter, just throwing to each other. And obviously having the chemistry when we were younger, but definitely just throwing with each other when no one's looking definitely helped to that.
Yeah, it's a very comfortable feeling to be a receiver, knowing that if you get open, you're gonna get the ball, and that's part of that confidence. You can play loose, you can play free, because if you do your job, the other guy's gonna do his. And I think that that goes hand in hand with not only our relationship on the field, but then also off the field. I know that if I mess up, he's gonna be yelling at me. If he messes up, I'm gonna be yelling at him. So there's that holding each other accountable part.
Yeah, for sure. And would you guys say that from that jump from at least your junior year to senior and your sophomore year to junior year, was there anything that you guys specifically did that kind of changed that to kind of grow into that way, or?
I'd say Brennan did a really good job, because in his when my sophomore year, his junior year, he was more of the kind of just play first, and he didn't have that leadership role. And I'd just say he took a really big jump this past year, just with the younger kids, and just kind of because this is his 4th year in varsity, and kind of just mentoring them and telling them the process, because obviously he's had the success, and I think that was definitely the biggest step for him.
Yeah, I think it also, I think you mentioned earlier, the working when nobody's looking, we did a lot of that kind of attributed to the success.
Athlete to athlete here, we're gonna go off on a little out of the way. We both know that sports are just as much mental as they are physical. So, can you walk us through the mental process that before a game or during a tough play?
I'd say that we're different in our pregame stuff specifically. And it's almost our classes are different. So the senior class this year, we would always be a lot more loose, messing around before games, to the point where the coaches almost had to say do you guys take it seriously? and then we would always lock in eventually, but like that's how we stayed loose, that's how we played better. And I feel like Johnny and like the junior class has always been more like serious, quiet. They like yell at each other more when people aren't paying attention. So I think that's the main difference, is that like we were always more loose, like cracking jokes before games, stuff like that.
Yeah, it definitely like meshed together well because we had like the seriousness and then like the not serious. Yeah, but it was fun before games, and then definitely after games was fun. But yeah, it was very diverse group of pregame. So yeah.
And then like the preparation, like the actual like X's and O's part of it goes all the way back. We started our off-season stuff in like November. Started meeting on game plan stuff January, February, something like that. And we just kept working at it the entire time, even though there were coaching changes throughout the entire thing. But the players stuck together, committed to like learning the system on both sides of the ball, and it ended up working out.
Yeah, I think too, like you said, there's a lot of coaching changes. I think we noticed there was a ton with whether it was offense or defensive side of the ball. What did it kind of like, you talked about how it changed like your guys' team. Like how did you guys kind of come together as a group?
Yeah, I definitely just say we kind of committed to each other. I mean, obviously, like the coaches this year that we had were amazing, and they led us for sure. But I mean, there were some dark times in the off season. Like we didn't know what the future held, and like all we had was each other, to be honest. And I think we kind of like, a lot of teams grow in like the summer together when they're with each other every day. But like basically our whole team was like with each other every day, and like the off season and the winter. And I guess just like not just hanging out with each other, like football related, but like out of football for sure is definitely like a big piece. Like summertime, after little kids camp, going to Mikey's pool, having like 15 guys there just definitely helped those like out of football moments for sure.
Yeah, and I remember during a lot of the chaos, Coach Plants would call me, and I would basically say like it doesn't matter who's coaching us, we're gonna win. Like, not to take credit away from the coaches, they obviously did their job, but we had a confidence to us that like we were gonna get the job done no matter who was coaching us. So that kind of brought everybody together, and then like he said, like the guys on the team genuinely enjoyed hanging out with each other. So whether it was football or something else, whether it was sophomores or seniors, like everybody just enjoyed spending time with each other. And that's kind of like the season ending, it hurt that much more because everybody was still having so much fun. Coach Hansen would say like week 11, it was week 11, second round of the playoffs, and he's like, it feels like it's week 4. Like I'm not tired of this. I'm not like looking at the clock when practice is going on, waiting to go home. Like, everybody just had a lot of fun every single day.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great. I think that definitely impacted your season. Did you guys have any like rituals you do, like for dance specifically? We'd knock on wood every time we walked on stage. Is there anything that you guys did kind of get your spirits up?
One thing, Sponsel had like a pregame song that he would play, and he only did it really for home games, which is probably why our 2 losses were away games. I don't even remember what the song was, but
I think it was like, was it Dion's song? I don't even know.
It might have been something like that. But I mean, that's all that I can remember. I don't know about you.
Yeah, everyone had like their individual like rituals for sure, but yeah, team was basically just like, I mean, we'd obviously do like our game day stretches and all that, but yeah, it was just, I'd say Sponsel's like game day music was, and obviously the game day videos were a big part of it too, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Is there something you guys would say to each other on the field? You know, something's not going the right way. What's a uplifter?
Yeah, I'd say we more so talk to the coaches because Brennan obviously like playing both ways. It was kind of like hard to like talk to him. But yeah, if something went wrong, I feel like no one like lost their cool. Like I feel like we did in the past, like where we were like in a panic mode. Like not everything's going perfect. But like we knew that like we just had to bounce back and like lean on each other. And like me, if I threw an interception, just count on the defense. You know, like they got my back. So just having each other's back for sure was a big part.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest part of it. Is when you're on defense, if the defense messes up, you have faith that the offense is going to make up for it. If the offense messes up, you have faith that the defense is going to make up for it. So just having like the trust in both sides of the ball kind of kept everybody calm.
Yeah.
So you guys are now bringing that energy, that community feel to Northwestern. How do you guys feel about playing with each other? How did you guys decide that Northwestern was the school for you both?
Yeah, I mean, we were at Northwestern last weekend, and Brennan was talking to like the head coach there, and he he showed him a photo of me, Brennan, and our friend Joe McBride in like Northwestern gear when we were really young. So, I mean, for me, I've been like a fan of Northwestern since I was like 5. I've been going to games like almost every year, like since I've been young. So like, it was always kind of a dream for me to go there. And like when I got that offer, like I was in shock a little bit. And then like the next day, like I realized like what was I waiting for, and decided to go there. So I think it was just a long time process and like a long time coming. I knew I was gonna go there.
Yeah, and I think for me it was, I mean, even longer process because it took about like 6 months more. But it was that similar thing where I've been going to games since I was 6 years old, and it was kind of always like when I would talk to my parents about recruiting, I would say like the unrealistic goal would be to play at Northwestern. That's probably not going to happen, so I'll go play somewhere else. And then it ending up happening is, like you said, it's kind of like a dream come true, and then it's that much better that we get to go there together because it's just like going to college like anybody else. It's a new experience, but having somebody that's going to be there with you that you know, it just helps a lot. It gives you a lot of comfort.
Yeah, for sure.
So how was your guys' reactions when you guys knew like each other got the offer? Like
Well, so when I found out that he got the offer, I remember it was me and Johnny and another one of our friends. I think we were at 5 guys. And Johnny's like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to commit yet. Like, I really want to. Like, I want to go there. I feel like I should maybe just wait, though. Like, I don't know what to do. And me and Ryan, we were like, why don't, like, what better is there out there? And then it kind of, like, stumped him, like, I don't know. And then we were like, yeah, maybe you should just commit. And obviously that's what I ended up doing. And then for me, when I got the offer, it was at Wrigley Field when I was there with Johnny. So that was part of the thing. The head coach offered me, I walk away, and then Johnny's like, did you commit? I'm like, no, like, I feel like I should wait. Then he was like, no, you should just go do it now. So then I walked back over and did it right away. So, like, it was part of that where, like, we both wanted to go there, and then eventually, like, he wanted me to go there.
Yeah, I think it was kind of funny. We had, like, similar situations when we committed. Like, we were both kind of, like, shell-shocked, I guess, like, by the idea that, like, our dream, like, could be coming true right now. And then, like, we both, like, talked to, like, our friends or, like, each other and, like, kind of, like told each other, like, what are you doing? Like, why aren't you taking the opportunity? So, yeah, I'd say it was pretty similar situations.
And then there is part of that, though, like, especially because I'm a senior, I don't know how Johnny feels, but, like, I don't know if you guys don't know where you're going yet, but when you, like, figure out where you're going to school, it feels a lot more real. So there's part of that, like, that hit me, like, I know where I'm spending the next 4 or 5 years of my life. So part of that was almost intimidating, but then also just excited to get there at this point.
Yeah. When do you start training?
I go June 17th for it's like off-season lifts and stuff, but then I also have to start class then. So I don't get much of a summer, but it is what it is. And then also it's only 40 minutes down the road, so it's not too bad.
Are you going to be visiting?
Yeah, I mean, they have spring ball, so we'll probably visit a lot there, but during the summer I can't really go there because they got, like, their camps and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll get down there for a few practices, hopefully.
What do you guys think you'll bring together?
I think just, I mean, obviously we have, like, chemistry, but I think just good vibes. Like, both of us are hard workers, so, like, we know, like, nothing's guaranteed to us going there, so, like, just putting our heads down, going to work there, and, hoping for the best.
And then I think there is a benefit to having 2 kids out there who are, like, clearly comfortable with each other, both on the field and off the field. And I know you could see that this year with the Fremd team is, like, having a quarterback and receiver who are both confident, but then also both, like, respect each other enough to where you can have conversations. I think that there will be a benefit at Northwestern with our relationship in that way.
That's great.
Obviously, Johnny, you being a junior, you got another year of playing here. So what can we kind of expect for the next year of Fremd football?
Yeah, I mean, the seniors this year left, like, a great, like, legacy for us, like, kind of pick up, like, where they, like, left off. But yeah, I mean, obviously, like, the goal for us is the same as last year, to go 9-0, hopefully, win conference this year, and not fall short again by 1 yard, but...
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we could maybe later. But, yeah, I mean, just building off the success from last year, we didn't go as far as we wanted to in the playoffs, so kind of just winning in November mentality. But yeah, just kind of carrying on the foundation that they left for us, for sure.
Yeah, kind of going back to that, this past season too. I know you guys, obviously we just talked about, you had a tough loss to Palatine. You know, that was a really tough loss from the fan, the player perspective. But how did you guys kind of like bounce back after that game? Because you guys went on to win a playoff game, which is something that Fremd hasn't done in such a long time. How did you guys kind of bounce back from that?
I think everybody had an instant reaction when we lost, that it felt like the season was over because we hadn't lost yet. That's such a big game, the way we lost being 1 yard. Like, that, even I felt that way. Like, I'm standing over there thinking, like, the season's over. But then we all kind of realized, like, we're 6-1 instead of 7-0. We have 3 more guaranteed games, and we're still a very good team. Like, we still had the confidence that we had the ability to win out. So that was part of it, is that we kind of all locked in and said, like, this season's not over. We still have a great opportunity ahead of us, and we just pushed towards that.
Yeah, and also, I mean, like, knowing that Palatine team, like, there's a lot of talent there, and, like, they were a really good football team, and, like, knowing that, like, we didn't play, like, the perfect game, and we were still, you know, in the game to, like, the last yard, I'd say that was definitely reassuring, because obviously Barrington was a good team, too, but just knowing that even, like, not on our, like, top day or perfect day, that we could still compete, for sure definitely helped.
Awesome. And then also kind of like, you know, this has been a big year. We see a lot of awards with you guys and your teammates too, lots of records being broken. So I know you were named all Cook County team captain and you were all Cook County first team. So kind of talk a little bit about that, like what that kind of means to both of you guys.
Yeah, I'm not one really for like individual awards. I kind of like the team success more, I'd say. But I mean, obviously getting those awards were like, I mean, it was a pretty cool feeling for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of wanted the team success more, but it's all good.
I would say that obviously team success is more important, but I think being a receiver plays a part of it. I'm also just a different personality that, like, although the season didn't end the way we wanted it to, like, having that solidified success as a personal player is still, like, important to leaving a legacy for other kids coming behind me. So it definitely still hurt the way the season ended, but still being able to hang my hat on the fact that, like, I left a legacy as a player, I think is important. Yeah. Because, I mean, like, yeah, winning is important, but then also your personal success plays a role in that.
Are there any memorable plays that you've had over the past few years?
I think my most memorable play was the Barrington game. There's a video of it. I was actually watching it last night. So I scored a touchdown to go up. I think we went up 49-28, basically sealed the game. And I'm like in the end zone, and I saw it. I was like high-fiving all the little kids back there. And then my little sister like ran up and was like giving me a hug. And I like having a video of that and being able to have that memory it's very important to me and my parents and all my siblings. And that video is just awesome.
It's my favorite video too.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, one of my favorites wasn't, like, the most memorable, like, Will Climmus's touchdown. I mean, I might have thrown with Will, like, more than anyone. I mean, since, like, 8th grade, we would throw, like, 2 times a week. It's, like, connecting on our first touchdown ever and, like, one of his last chances to ever do it was pretty cool, for sure. But another one was in the Barrington game, and I think it was a pivotal part of our season. It was like 3rd and 10, and it was like after we got like the fake punt, and we were backed up, and we were 3rd and 10, and we called our go-to route, Montana, and I threw it to Brennan on a dig route, and he ran to like the 1 yard line, and then we scored, and that kind of just like sparked our offense again. I think that was definitely a memorable moment.
Yeah, those plays like that, the 3rd down conversions, that like kind of let everybody on the field, let all of us know that, like, it doesn't matter the situation we're in, we're still capable of success. So those types of plays were huge.
Yeah. Going off kind of like a game like that, Barrington, that was, I'm pretty sure, a top 10 team at the time in state. And what was kind of like the preparation going into that week? And kind of, I remember from that game, you guys coming off to a hot start and just being, like, really amped up and ready to play. And some other players telling us all week how they were going to win. So, like, what was kind of like the mentality going in that week?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys know Slow Shay. We saw, like, they were, like, posted top 10, so that added definitely a little fuel. But one of like the biggest things was Mr. Langer came in like our in the shed and gave us like a pregame talk, and he definitely got us fired up because if I woke up that morning not knowing that Mr. Langer was gonna get me hyped up for the game. Yeah, that was definitely.
That's part of it though. Is like Mr. Langer's standing in the front screaming at everybody, and then we as guys, we like when you think like football players, you're thinking like everybody's like crazed animals like foaming at the mouth,
Yeah,
ready
yeah.
to like want to kill somebody. But we were all like laughing, like making jokes about it in the background, like screaming and just having a good time. Like you wouldn't think that we were gonna go about to play a top 10 team in the state, let alone win. But we kind of always just had that mentality that like we don't care who you are, we're better than you guys. And that was whether we were gonna win the game or we were gonna lose the game. That's always the way we thought about it. So, like I said it earlier, like a little bit of delusional confidence. That's kind of helped us get us prepared for games like that.
For sure.
I think we're.
That's
Oh,
it.
tell us something about each other that we wouldn't know, or they wouldn't know. Last
What do you
one.
think?
One of like I mean this really isn't a big thing, but I remember like we were in like 2nd grade or 3rd grade, and Brennan's dad was going out for like a out of like state trip, so he was supposed to like sleep over at my house, and it was supposed to be his like first sleepover ever.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to have that.
Yeah, and we were like playing basketball outside or something, and his like dad, my dad like walked out and goes like, Brian, your dad's gonna be here in like 30 minutes. And
Started like crying.
yeah, he was like crying 'cause it was like it was supposed to be his first sleepover, but yeah, that was
A funny memory I have of just Johnny's house in general is we would always play. I forget what we called it. It was the game in your living room where everybody would just be on their knees. There would be 2 end zones, and it was just like wrestling to try to like get to the end zone one way. What did we call it?
I can't remember.
Eventually, we got big enough so the game got banned in his house because somebody broke something.
Yeah.
But like there'd be like 10 of us, and we'd like rush to Johnny's living room to go tackle each other around on the couch and stuff like that. I mean, that's just like a great memory to have with your friends.
I love that. I hope
For
you guys
sure.
carry that over to Northwestern.
Hopefully
Yeah.
that's the goal.
So thank you everyone for watching and tuning in. Thank you guys, Johnny and
Thanks
Brennan,
for
for
having us.
coming on the podcast.
Excited to see where you guys will go.
Yeah, for sure. And we're gonna have more to come, so just make sure to keep following us and follow kind of their futures and more to come. So thank you.